Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nithin Ramachandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 763. I'm joined by returning guest Hue Jackson. He was on the show last year. Obviously a former NFL coach, but now he has a new gig in the business. He's now the offensive coordinator for Tennessee State. He's going to be part of Eddie George's staff, and Jeff Fisher too is part of it. So I'm really looking forward to this interview and having him back on the show. So we're going to discuss everything, how the process went with this situation, and obviously the things he's doing with the foundation, which we are part of too. And his Tequila brand is out there, so we're going to talk about that. So how are you and your family doing since the last time we spoke?
Everybody's doing well, just making sure everybody still stays safe and just trending forward. That's what you have to do at this time. I mean, I thought yesterday the announcement of the conviction of what happened with the officer who killed George Floyd. I thought that was a historic time in my life and a lot of people's lives. So I'm excited about what the future holds.
Yeah. So speaking of that, let's talk about that real quick. Yesterday, so obviously a big day for the Floyd family. Obviously, George can't be brought back, but I think there's some positive now. Hopefully, what we saw yesterday, hopefully it turns around the world, turns around, and hopefully the community comes together now so we can fix the situation. Do you think, obviously there's still a lot of work to do, but do you think what we saw yesterday can be the pivotal point to this situation?
I sure hope it is. I hope that's the pivotal point that turns everything around. Obviously, the systemic racism that's gone on for so many years, people were on pins and needles. Nobody knew exactly how this was going to unfold. We know what we saw. But it's been so many times that we've seen things like this and they don't work out right. So it became normal for a lot of us. That's the normal thing that happened. And then yesterday, I think when it happened, everybody was surprised and it was an historic moment. As I mentioned, I think everybody's excited and we have to continue to grow from this.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about, obviously, now you have a new gig, but before that, I want to ask you about your NFL process. Obviously, you wanted to get back into NFL, and you had an interview with the Steelers for a possible coaching job. So take me to that process. How did that go? And obviously, Mike Tomlin just signed an extension there. But what was that process like, interviewing with the Steelers?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Mike on his extension. He's one of the longest tenured head coaches in the National Football League. So well-deserved. He's won a lot of games in Pittsburgh. He did interview me. It was a 3-hour interview. We talked from everything from A to Z. I thought it went really well. He made a decision which he thought was best for him and the organization. It was to stay in-house and hire somebody that he already knew. And I get that. I mean, I've been in those situations where I've had to hire people before, so I totally understand and I wish him well. But again, Mike's good at what he does, and he'll get that team back to where they need to be.
So did you have any other offers out there in the NFL after the Steelers, or was that the only interview you had?
That was the only one. That was the only one, and that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and how did this process work out with Tennessee State and obviously Eddie George? Congrats to him with this head coaching job. But for you, how did this work? So did Eddie George reach out to you after he got the coaching job, or?
Yeah. First, let me say I'm very excited about working for the great Eddie George, Heisman Trophy winner, tremendous football player, tremendous man. I think he's going to be an unbelievable leader. And one thing I do know about Eddie, the things he's not, that he really doesn't know, he works at it. And that's what you look for. But Jeff Fisher, who is like his advisor, Jeff did a great job of putting a staff together. Jeff is who reached out to me first, gauged my interest, put me in contact with Eddie. Me and Eddie had a great conversation. We hit it off, and that's kind of the way the process went.
So what's it like to be able to have those connections still that you had when you were a coach in the NFL? Obviously, it's important to have connections as a coach or analyst or reporter. So what's it like just to have those connections like Jeff Fisher, Eddie George, and the recent and your former coaching staff that you had? What's it like just to keep those connections?
I think it's always important. Obviously, it's like a brotherhood. You gain more brothers when you get into the family with Eddie George and Jeff Fisher, who I've never worked for. But you also know of them because you've watched them compete. You watched Coach Fisher coach, and you competed against his teams. So, I mean, there's a sense of respect there. but you don't know each other because you never worked with each other. But then you start having conversations and you see where things align, you see vision, you see alignment, collaboration, then obviously things start to work out.
Yeah, so before we get to what you're most looking forward to, I want to ask you the HBCU schools now, it's growing, and obviously Deion Sanders at Jackson State University, now you guys at Tennessee State. So what's it like seeing this HBCU schools now growing and having the talent they have now, and obviously, hopefully, they start having being more competitive. But what's it like to see the growth of HBCU schools now?
I think it's exciting. You know, they say things come full circle sometimes when you go back and think of some of the great players in the National Football League the early times. A lot of them came from HBCU schools. So I think things are starting to trend back that way. When I know from me, when I look at the portal, the college portal that's out there, there's 1,400 players, 14,000 players, I should say. It's one or the other that's in that portal, and they want to play. And so I would think the HBCU schools are going to have a chance to get some really good players as they move forward to give young men an opportunity to play. And that's probably what I'm most excited about is the fact that I'm going to connect with young players that I can help mold, not just as players, but also as men. And I think that's so important with our youth today.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're chomping at the bit about coaching again, and obviously, are you guys looking at the playbook already as we speak? And what are you most looking forward to? Like you just said, coaching these young players again. But what are you most looking forward to for yourself, just to get back on the field and coaching again?
Oh yeah, I'm excited about getting back on the field, but I miss the process.
Yeah.
You know, all of it. You know, putting the playbook together with Coach George and what he wants and what his vision is, and watching guys continue to get better, watching our coaches coach and teach and demand and instruct and give guys the opportunity to learn at a high level, and then going through the grind of what practice is going to look like to prepare to have an opportunity to play. So all those things are exciting to me.
So so what do they, so for example, like for these protocols, obviously, what have they told you about when the next season's starting, and have you guys been able to meet the players yet on Zoom or in person yet, or?
No, we haven't. You know, there's a process to all of this that you have to be on top of. First and foremost, I'm learning all the college rules, and it's different. You know, there's dead periods and quiet periods and this and that, and when you can talk to players. So I'm respecting the process, learning a lot about it. Can't wait till we can, because that's the first chance you get to, intermingle, have that conversation with players is when you're allowed to, but there's still a recruiting test you must pass first, and make sure you understand a lot of the rules, because it is different, and I respect that. And so, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So speaking of recruiting, so what's that going to be like for you? Obviously a new transition, but when these players from high school see these schools, like for example, Deion Sanders is there at Jackson State, and they say, wow, let me go there. But now they see Tennessee State with Eddie George and Hue Jackson and Jeff Fisher. What do you think? What is your guys' recruiting process going to be like now?
Well, I think it's going to be special. I really do. I think Eddie George speaks for himself in Tennessee. He's a legend there, and so we're going to piggyback that. We're going to piggyback his NFL experience as a player, my NFL experience as a coach, Jeff Fisher's NFL experience as a coach. There's going to be several other coaches who've had that kind of experience too. No different than Jackson State, who I think has done a great job. Deion's done a great job of marketing the university and what he does and what he brings to the table. And we have to too. We have our strengths as well. And so we have to make sure that we let those things be known, and that we're going to be a school that young men are going to want to come to play at, because they're going to get an unbelievable experience.
Yeah. So what do you think of the new wave? Do you think now colleges are looking at players that used to play in the NFL but never coached before as a new wave of coaches to come in as college coaches, like Eddie George, Deion Sanders? Do you think that's a new wave now? Having former NFL players?
It sure looks like that, when you think about Deion's opportunity and now Eddie's opportunity. And I'm sure there'll be others, people who really want to get into the football and coach and grow and learn and understand the business. Obviously, the difference is Deion coached in high school, made a name for himself. Eddie didn't, but Eddie has unbelievable people skills. He's a quick learner, and he knows what he wants. And so I think that's important when you have great conviction about what you think your team should look like. then it's your job to go make that happen.
Hmm. So obviously Eddie George is putting a veteran staff around him with you, Jeff Fisher, and have you guys announced the rest of the staff, or are you guys still working through that process?
No, I think we're close, and we haven't announced it yet, but I think we're close to getting that done. That was, his first order of business is making sure that he had a very competent and comfortable staff with him in place. I'm talking about Eddie and also Jeff, and so I think we've accomplished that, and now we got to move forward.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to talk about your playbook, but as an offensive coordinator, are you going to be bringing some of your NFL plays in there when the season starts?
Well, it's going to be whatever it would fit whatever talent we have there, and whatever vision Coach George has. So whatever we need to be. The one thing about having an NFL playbook is that I can pull from a lot of different areas in order to make things fit for the players, and I think that's what's most important. But at the end of the day, we have to make the players that are there successful, and that's what our job is tasked with, and that's what we'll try to accomplish.
Yeah. So now I want to switch gears here a little bit, talking about the brand that just came out, the Tequila brand. So how excited are you? How excited are you guys about this brand, the Tequila, and where can people find it? And obviously the launch happened already.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. We're in 48 different states. Country Wine and Spirits, if they go to countrywineandspirits.com, they can acquire the tequila, Grand Leanda tequila, 100% USDA organic tequila. We think we're one of the best in that space. We don't think there's anything close. And again, we're in a lot of different areas right now. We're scaling the business. We're moving around. I know we're going to open up in Ohio soon. Obviously, we're in LA and Hawaii and Texas and Las Vegas. And so we're a lot of different places. But one thing that we're trying to do is make sure that we serve our customers, the best we can, because we think that our tequila is one of the best.
Mm-hmm. Do you think have you reached out to Dwayne Johnson yet for a competition?
Oh, well, you talking about The Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now he's well ahead of the competition. He has so many followers, and so he's doing a great job. But we love to compete with him. We're not going to run from that. That's for sure. So anytime he wants to put his bottles down, we'll put our bottles down and let's go.
Yeah. So now I want to talk about the foundation, though. We're really grateful to be part of this and helping out Kim and yourself and as ambassadors. And I love being a part of this. And what's it like seeing the growth of this foundation? Obviously, we're constantly. For me, when I do the other interviews, I've always mentioned you guys at the end about the foundation and making sure that people see this stuff. And what's it like just being connected with Kimberly? She's a hardworking woman. What a great woman to be friends with. And I mean, she's been a big help for our show. And what's it like just working with her with the foundation?
First of all, I want to thank you for your support. I mean, everybody don't want to get into that space and are willing to do the work that it takes to keep putting the message out. Obviously, Kim's my executive director, and I've learned a long time ago, you hire great people and you let them do their job. And so that's what I was able to do. She's very good at what she does. She's a get it done person. And I think you have to have those kind of people. And especially in this space, when things come up and people are giving us requests because they need help, because maybe a kid is missing or something's not going right, or there's a feeling that maybe a kid's being trafficked, she is the one-stop shop. She knows where to go, who to talk to, who immediately to get, moving in that direction to help. And so she's been a real help to me. Obviously, like I said, we're trying to really impact this space. The human trafficking issue that's going on in our world is it's bad. And so we are not even close to making the impact that we want to make, but we're not going to stop until we do.
So obviously there's still a lot of work to do with this human trafficking, but I was thinking, I'm thinking of ways how to prevent it, but what other ways can we prevent this? Obviously sending out the message, but other than sending out message, I'm trying to figure out what other ways we can, as a community, to stop this.
I think the first thing is people have to educate themselves on what human trafficking is and what the signs of it is. So if we can help one person, if you can be a person that looks for signs and is able to help one young woman or young man who's in that situation, to pull them out of that, to give them a better chance at life, then we've done our job. And so in order to do that, you have to get educated first. You have to understand the signs, what it looks like. And then you have to understand, where do I take this information? Who did I give it to?
Right.
And I think that's so important too, because some people can see it, but they don't know where to turn, So that's why, you go to huejackson.org, and boy, they can leave messages there, and Kim will get them and she will react accordingly. But I think that's the biggest thing. Make sure people understand the signs. People got to understand that it's everywhere. You can't say it's not in your neighborhood. It's not even in your
Right.
family. It's everywhere. So please open your eyes to what human trafficking is, educate yourself, and make sure you understand exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. So a couple more things here. Are you located in Tennessee right now? Tennessee?
I am back and forth from Tennessee. Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So your whole family moved up there too?
No, we won't do it that way, but we'll do what we need to do at the right time.
Yeah, so I want to ask you about the NFL right now. The NFL draft obviously coming up soon, and what are you most looking forward to this year's NFL draft? Obviously, April 29th, and what are you most looking forward to seeing?
Well, that's always an exciting time, when you see young players drafted into the National Football League, where they get drafted at, what the fit's going to be like for them. It's just so exciting, for the players, for the organizations, for the players on the team, because that's another piece that might help them get to the ultimate goal, which is a Super Bowl. But at the same time, there's a lot of work, that goes into this. The thing I'm really excited about, one is the draft, but what is the offseason going to look like? It doesn't sound like it's going to be an offseason, a traditional offseason again this year. So that will be different. And then what will training camp look like? And again, how many of these quarterbacks will get drafted in the first 4 or 5 picks? I mean, I think we're all excited about that. And that's normally what everybody's excited about when it comes to the draft. Where will these quarterbacks who people think are really great players go?
Yeah, I'm a big Cowboy fan, and we have the 10th pick, and there's some buzz going around that they want Kyle Pitts. Jerry Jones really wants Kyle Pitts, but some people are saying go for your need. We need a defensive back. But if you were in that position, if somehow you can get Kyle Pitts, would you go after Kyle Pitts or go for need? And that's
no. I would not go for Kyle Pitts, because when I think of the Dallas Cowboys offense, they have 3 very proven receivers, an unbelievable quarterback, an unbelievable runner. If their offensive line is healthy, they're set on offense. They need to improve defensively, and so if I can put a real generational player or a real talent on the defense to help that, I think that's the most important thing for the Dallas Cowboys.
Interesting. Yeah, so before I let you go, I don't know how busy Eddie George is, but can you ask him if he can come on the show also?
I sure will. No, he's busy, but he loves talking about TSU and what we're trying to accomplish there, as a group. And so again, I definitely will put that on his plate.
Yeah, and there it is. That wraps up episode 763 with returning guest, new offensive coordinator for Tennessee State, Hue Jackson. I just want to say thank you again for coming back on the show. It's truly an honor, and always good working with you guys, especially with the foundation. And I'm just happy that you're back coaching. And I was pushing for all of us were pushing for you to get back into coaching. You finally did it. But good luck to you guys. Obviously, we're gonna continue watching your career, and hopefully you guys do have a great season. And good luck to Coach Eddie George, and you and your family stay safe.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for all you do, as I said earlier, for your commitment to the foundation and human trafficking. We can't thank you enough. I thank you for the personal support. We're looking forward to doing some great things at Tennessee State, and I'm just excited to be a part of it with Eddie George.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll tag Eddie George in this so he sees it too.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, but stay safe, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.